Hi, I'm Johan. I'm an educator here at PolyU for 5 years. Prior to that, I taught for about 25 years in the United States and Canada, particularly Canada. Now, what would it take as an educator to educate the thought leaders of tomorrow? I think the first thing is, as an educator, we have to communicate enthusiasm and excitement about our body of knowledge. We have to stimulate the creative thoughts of our students. Additionally, I think as educators, we ought not pander to these thought leaders. In other words, we should not seek popularity or fame or their recommendation. We should remain committed to our curriculum and teach the students to be engaged and curious about our content and not be excessively worried about our student feedback questionnaires and other forms of student reaction. I think if we're trying to teach thought leaders, the process of being thoughtful is the process of asking the question, why? So if we're going to teach the thought leaders of tomorrow, we have to move away from the question, how, and engage the students in considering and contemplating the question, why? Why do I want to know this? We need to encourage the students to become more inquiry-based. We need to encourage the students to move away from an obsession about harmony, which, while important, does not necessarily encourage creativity, original thought, or thoughtfulness. Hong Kong and China have great students. However, our students confuse memorization with understanding. If we want to encourage thought leaders, we need to move away from an obsession with memorizing things, a memorization with repeating things, a memorization, an obsession with repeating things. Similarly, if we want to encourage the thought leaders of tomorrow, we need to change our method of evaluation and increase the amount of subjective knowledge that we examine and increase the amount of focus on subjective thinking skills. Quite honestly, we also need to move away from group projects. Group projects, in my view, do not encourage creative thinking. They encourage mediocrity. I think if we want to encourage the thought leaders of tomorrow, we need to encourage them, that is our learners, to become more focused on concepts and first principles in whatever discipline we have them to teach. I think it's essential that if you want to be a thought leader and you want to lead thought leaders, you have to show your students that you personally find your body of knowledge exciting and relevant, and to enthuse your students with that. Now that, to some extent, in a PolyU teaching culture, is considered heresy, because we have a number of learners who are not particularly able and find thought leadership intimidating. So PolyU as a university has to also face a crossroad. If we really want to be a leading edge university, we have to some extent move our learning expectations upstream and cater to more able learners, move away from an obsession of pandering to the less able. So in summary, you want to teach thought leaders, you've got to teach them to be thoughtful. And my role as an educator with over 30 years experience is my job, my duty is to provide the enthusiasm and the excitement about my body of knowledge, which happens to be accounting, by the way, and empower my students to capture that excitement and take it into their life, personalize it, and realize that what we're teaching them is actually relevant. Sayonara.